Hello again. So today we are going to be pressure canning beef stroganoff. I am using wide mouth quart jars. These are great for holding big meals as opposed to the smaller cans. Jars, not cans. Yeah, so let me show you my setup, how I have everything prepped. I did cut the beef. I have about 5.5 pounds of beef, 4 onions, and a whole head of garlic, because I like garlic. The recipe I'm using is actually based on just filling up 2 jars. So they did about a pound of meat in each jar. That's a bit too much meat for me. I do like to be on the heavier vegetable side in any dish that I do. So the meat weighed out to about 5.5 pounds, and that's good. I am doing 7 jars. So it'll be a little bit under a pound per jar, but again, I said I'd rather have more room for the mushrooms and the onions and the vegetables, and I just ended up buying store-bought mushrooms that were already pre-cut to make things a little bit easier for me. So let's get started. I'll show you my setup. Okay, so I have all my jars set up. I have my salt, my pepper, my parsley, my thyme. I have tomato paste, but I don't know if I'm going to need that second one, the Worcester, my measuring cups, and my lids. So I now got my 5.5 pounds of beef. Really, dog? This is prime sirloin beef. If I'm gonna do this, I like my beef to be of good high quality. I'll move that there. You guys can't see this on the video, but my dog is trying to get as close to the meat as he can because he does like to eat it. He's right there. Anyways, so I have this just to help put it in, and I'm just gonna scoop a cup load of meat just to try to have it, you know, as evenly distributed between all the jars as possible. And then whatever's left over, I will eyeball. Well, that is not as smooth as I thought that was gonna go, but I am doing the wide mouth jar, so I don't need to do that, but I like the idea of measuring. Okay, I'm probably gonna stop using that. That's better. The only reason I'm using the measuring cup is just so I feel like I know how much is going into each jar and then it's going in equally. You don't have to do this. You could eyeball it. You could technically also do it by weight if you wanted to, but as long as the meat gets in there, you're good. And some of these recipes you can actually pre-mix all the ingredients. I don't like doing that because I do like the idea of trying to get the same amount of stuff and everything as evenly as possible. So that's about 1 cup, clean that after, about 1 cup in each jar. Now I'm going to go on to the second one and then I will bring you back. Okay, let me just turn that light down a bit there. So the recipe, I'm going to put the tomato paste in now so it's kind of mixed in with the layers. It does call for 4 tablespoons, so hopefully I have enough. If not, I'm okay with that. I don't think it's going to take from the flavor. Tomato paste is really strong, so if I don't have 4, well, hold on, sorry. No, it should be 2 tablespoons per jar. We can't get that. Oh well. Because I forgot the recipe I'm using is for 2 jars. So if I have to do like 1.5. I think that's okay. All right. So I'll be back when that's done. All right, so I got the tomato paste divvied up as much as I can, and now we're going to move on to the mushrooms. Now, I'm a veggie girl. I love my veggies. So this recipe called for 1 cup split between 2 jars. I'm going to do 1 cup for each jar because I love mushrooms, and I just think mushrooms should be, you know, in a beef stroganoff. So we're just gonna make some room. I have a really small working space, and I live in a really small house too. So being able to have like different methods of storage for food is really important to me, as well as having quick meals. I only cook for myself for the most part, and I find it's hard for me to not waste food. So by doing something like this, I'm actually spend less money at the grocery store. I spend less time throwing out food. So yeah. And like doing canning, so I'm only doing about a week's worth of canning, and then I won't do this for another 6-7 months. It's very time consuming. So you gotta put in the time. I don't mind that though. What is it? If you're gonna do the crime, put in time. So if you want to have quick, convenient meals that, you know, after a day of work, this is convenient for anyone to do. You don't have to do it just because like you're into the prepping lifestyle. I do it just because I wanted to throw away less food, and it really just started from my own personal garden. I had so many tomatoes, they were going bad before I could figure out what to do with them, and I started water bathing my tomatoes, and next thing you know, I'm just put a couple big ones in that one. Buying a pressure canner and looking into different ways of preserving food. The only thing I don't have is a freeze dryer, and that's simply because I don't have room for it. I do have a dehydrator that I bring out from time to time too. So that's another method of food preservation that you could do. Because I don't know about you, but I definitely hate my food going bad in the fridge. I hate it when I have to throw things out, or even just like making too much food for myself. So I actually know when I add noodles to one of these jars, I can get about 3 meals out of it. So that works out because I end up eating like my work lunches. Because you know you gotta have the good stuff at work, right? And I work in a really fast pace. I'm on my feet for 8 hours a day. I don't really get much sit down time, unfortunately. It's kind of a physically demanding job as well as a mentally demanding job, and that is all I'm going to tell you about that. All right, mushrooms are in. Okay, so I chopped up my garlic yesterday. It's just like a waxy reusable thing, so saran wrap. So I'm just gonna divvy that out. Again, just eyeballing it. Doesn't have to be anything crazy. Technically, the recipe called for minced garlic. I like garlic chunky. I could like eat and live off of garlic. However, like I love garlic. Some people don't, and I understand that. I don't think there is such a thing as too much garlic, especially when it is well cooked. Okay, so garlic's done, and now we will do the onions. Again, this recipe called for 1 cup of onions split between 2. So we'll do, maybe start by measuring out 1/2 cup of onions for each of these. And then if I have extra, I will divvy it up. I only had to cut about 4 small onions. And again, I just did them in like a chunkier cut. It's gonna be just enough. So yeah, about half a cup of onions for each jar, a full cup of mushrooms. It ended up working out to about 2 cups of beef if you like to measure it out that way. I got half a cup of no, oh my god, not half a cup. I got a full tablespoon and a teaspoon of tomato paste in there, and now we'll just get all the sauce and the seasoning, and then we're done. Okay, so the recipe now calls for Worcester sauce. So it's 2 teaspoons per jar. 1, 2. What are you doing, dog? 1, 2. 1, 2. It's okay if you get a few extra jobs. You can never have too much Worcestershire. Probably didn't pronounce that right, but that's okay. But you can never have enough in your recipe. So put as much as you want or think you need. Uh-oh, I'm running out. Did I get 2 or do you? I can't remember now. Oh no. Anyways, just enough. Should have got more. And then we need our thyme. And we're just doing 1 tablespoon. Now, you don't have to put the herbs in. There are quite a few that are usually recommended not to be put in. Just because when they pressure can, they tend to change their flavor, or they're just a really strong herb that's a little bit better when it's not allowed to sit and cook for a long period of time. I know cooking sage is one of them. I can't remember what the rest is, so. And then we're also doing 1 of parsley. I had homegrown parsley, so I had to grind it up here. I probably don't have enough, so I will probably have to go get more. Yep. So I'm gonna go grab some more, put that in, and then you're doing half a teaspoon of salt and pepper. So do that, and I will be right back. Almost done. So I got the meat, onions, mushrooms, seasoning, tomato sauce, and Worcester sauce all in. So now we are just gonna add the broth. Now, if you're gonna preheat your canner, you do need to preheat the broth as well as have the jars warm. I'm not doing that, so everything is going in at room temperature. It does mean that your processing time in the canner is a little longer because everything has to heat up together, but I'm okay with that. So we want to fill it up until you get to the rim. Perfect. I might not have enough broth, so I'm going to go a little bit on the lighter side, just in case. I do have vegetable broth that I can add to top everything off, but I want to make sure that at least every jar gets beef in it. Oh. Maybe not. I might be okay. If that filled up 3. I feel like I have enough, but we'll find out. I have tried to make my own broth before. I've only tried it once. Kind of my first time. Kind of not the best process. So I think I would definitely try it again, but maybe change a few steps and a few ways that I did it. But at this current time, I I don't have any intentions of making my own broth, so store-bought is where it's at right now. I'm definitely probably going to have to add a little bit of vegetable flavor into some of these, but for the most part, they're heavy on the beef. So I'm just going to top them off. I want them to, see, this is a little low. This one's pretty hot where I want it to be. So I do want it to come right there. Where is my tool? Let's grab that. This is my measuring tool, so you do just want to make sure you have that 1-inch headspace. So even that one, I'm not quite there yet. So I'm going to go top it off and then we'll go over lids. Okay, so I took my debubbling tool and debubbled all the ingredients, and then I retopped anything off that after doing that, some of the liquid needed to be topped off. So that's done. We're ready to go. Now I'm going to start to turn my heat on. I like to leave it at medium for everything when I'm going cold for about 10 minutes so that they heat up slowly together before I really crank the heat. And I won't put the lid of my pressure canner on until I've kind of had everything preheated for about 10 minutes. And then I'll increase the temperature to really get things going. So I'm just putting vinegar on paper towel and just cleaning these lids. These are new jars for me, so I didn't need to check for any nicks or crannies. I mean, it's not a bad thing to do just in case, but usually you don't have that issue with new jars. And we're just getting, see, I like tomato sauce and seasoning on the rims, and you don't want that to interrupt with your sealing. Okay, so we're gonna do that. I like to flip it, and I do like to do it on the lids too. This is like an added measure. Again, these are new jars, so not super worried about it. Perfect. So they do say to do fingertip tight. I like to put my wrist into it and then loosen it and then do fingertip tight. It just makes me feel a little bit more secure that it's got that nice, see, that was really tight, so that's why I loosen it and then redo it again. So I just feel more comfortable doing that. You don't have to, you can just do the fingertips and call it a day. So we're gonna get these all in, and then I will talk about just temperature settings, how long in the pressure canner this is probably gonna take, and yeah. Okay, so it's been slowly heating up for about 10 minutes. This is now nice and warm. So I am going to put the lid on, and I'm going to slowly increase the temperature. It's still going to take quite a while for it to get to where I need to go. Nice thing about this point is you're really just going into supervisory mode now. So it's been at medium heat. I'm slowly going to increase it to about a quarter higher, and then I'll go even higher because again it's still preheating. So I have to get this up to 11 pounds of pressure. Once it gets up to that and I can make sure it's stabilized and I'm not seeing a huge fluctuation in temperatures, I need to leave it there for 90 minutes. So it's about an hour and a half. Let's see. Yes, it is. No, it's not. Yes, it is. Anyways, so you don't put the topper on and you don't start your timer until you get to 12 or 11 PSIs. And the topper does not go on, and this will not start to gum up until the top at the back here pops up. This is a Presto pressure canner. There are other ones. I like this one. I do understand that you do need to get this checked out every once in a while just to make sure there's no issues. However, I haven't had any issues with it so far, so that's it. I've had the espresso canner for about a year and a half now, so I haven't gotten it checked yet. I might wait another year before I go and get that double checked again. So I know some people suggest you do it every year. I just don't do enough pressure canning within a year to feel like that's necessary. So we're gonna let this heat up. I'm probably looking at about 3 hours of this running in total from now until I get to take things out. So I'm gonna do dishes and clean up the house. Bye. So as you can see, I just took them out of the canner. I was right, it did take about 3 hours for them from the time I started, and now we're gonna let them rest overnight. So all 7 cans sealed. I did check them in the morning. I forgot to kind of finish this video off. Yeah, so it looks like everything's sealed, everything went good, and I can't wait to try them out. So yeah, hope you enjoy learning how to make that, and bye.